go.
Good morning, everyone. This is Angelica Blackmoon here with our special guest, Andy Walks with Thunder. He's a modern shaman that is very well known, and I've followed him for many years, though we've only recently met personally, I believe. I'm not sure I didn't have a session with you a long time ago when we were both on Keen, but I just can't seem to remember. But I think I might have. I think I might have. That was a very, very long time ago. Our producer, Alina, is here. Raise your hand.
Hi.
And Sabrina, who is one of my clients and one of Walks with Thunder's new apprentices. And she's going to tell us how interesting it is to be an apprentice with this lovely man. So I'd like to start with Walks with Thunder, if you don't mind. Could you tell us, first of all, how you got your name? Because I love that name. It is a powerful name.
Well, I went up to Pine Ridge to visit a medicine man up there because I had a problem. The paranormal was just banging my door down, and I didn't like it. And while I was there, I asked Ed um, what he thought. And he said, well, you have two choices. You can embrace the paranormal and master it, or you can be its victim. And over the 10 days I was there, he was testing me. And he said, I've come to the conclusion that you are your grandfather's spirit reborn. And that's why you know all of our ancient ways, because you do things in the ancient way. In the ancient way, there's no white man's string, there's no white man's cloth in the prayer tie or the tobacco offering. But now they use all that. And so when their tobacco is offered, they either have to burn it or let it rot where it lays, whereas mine is taken, it's visibly gone. And so I told Ed, I want to write a book, and I'm going to call it Walks with Thunder. And he said, that's a great name for a book, but did you ask the Thunder Spirit who owns that name? There's a Thunder Spirit with that name? Where'd that come from? I just thought of that. That's mine. I coined it. And he said, no, you got to go to the sacred mountain and ask the Thunder Spirits whether you can use that name. So I asked the Thunder Spirit, Walks with Thunder, if I could use that name for a book. And he said, it's a good name for a book, but it is also a good name for a man. You should use it. And it was a really big name. I mean, just huge. I'm like, I don't know if I can wear that name. That's huge. I mean, I'm just me. And over the years, I started to use it because, when a Thunder Spirit tells you to do something, you kind of want to do it. And there have been a number of people that have been upset about my name. Where'd you get your name? Because they're gatekeepers in the Native community, real buttheads. And I tell them, a Thunder Spirit gave it to me. I dare you to go ask him about it. And if you live, tell me what he said. What can I tell you? I'm controversial.
And of course, you'd already talked to the Thunder Spirit who told you should use it. So why would you need to go ask again? That seems not
Oh,
very.
I'm not asking. I'm telling them to go ask the Thunder Spirit why it gave
Oh,
me the
oh,
name.
I understand now. Yeah, that makes sense to me. More sense to me.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good name for you. It fits you very well. You have a sense of power about you that I like, and that I think is really important when you're working with evil, for example. Now
absolutely.
you did a couple of little things for us for the advertising of today's show, and you talk about evil in some of those clips that we used. And You want to tell people about that again who missed those clips? Because I thought that the clips themselves were very important because so many, and I don't know about you, but there seems to be an uptick in evil. Like I'm seeing more and more of it all the time. More and more
Absolutely.
people, more and more people are being accosted by it, attacked by it, tormented by it, and they have no place to go. I mean, they have nobody to talk to about it. People don't believe them. They think it's crazy. So, what would you say to somebody who came to you and said, "I am having this problem. What can we do?" What would you be able to advise them to do?
Well, you sent Sabrina to me,
I did.
and what I told her was, I can take care of your problem, but it's going to be very expensive because dealing with demonic forces and the witch coven. So there's got to be, a number of demonic forces after you, and that'd probably be around $10,000 for me to handle it for you. The alternative is you can just read my blog on spiritual housekeeping, and 95% of the time that clears things up, and that's free. So walkswiththunder.com. Look at my blogs for spiritual housekeeping. No substitutions. If it says kosher salt, use kosher salt, not Tibetan salt or Himalayan salt or any of that other weird crap. Unless it says kosher on it, don't use it. Kosher is what we want.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you deviate from the instructions, it's not going to work. Why kosher salt? Because kosher salt is blessed indirectly, in the kosher warehouse by the rabbi. So it's the cheapest blessing you can get for $3.
Yeah.
And there's just something to it. And I like that. So, or you could, if that doesn't work, then you could be an apprentice. An apprentice is a variable fee from $350 a month to $500 a month. You could pay more if you wanted to. I wouldn't turn it down. But those are the parameters that we've set for the apprenticeship.
And if someone wanted to be your apprentice, how would they go about doing that? Do they have to pass some tests, or do they have to be invited? How do you come by your apprentices?
Well, some apprentices hear my name in a dream, or they hear it on the wind. They do a Google search and call me. You can get hold of me on Facebook at on Walks with Thunder. You can, if you look at my profile on Facebook, I have a phone number right there. But I wrote this morning, and I said, sometimes you have to be a badass to be a good guy. Be kind until it's time not to be kind. Be calm as often as possible, and be smarter than you were yesterday. Well, some people aren't that smart, and they like to, even people I do not know will warn other people, don't go near Walks with Thunder, he's bad news. And I'm like, you don't even know me, lady. But I am on the plastic medicine man and the fraud list or something, even though I've never done anything fraudulent. And by the way, if you want to get off one of those, it's near impossible. You email them, Stonewall. You try and chat them up online. Oh, you're him? And all of a sudden, they're gone. They will not listen. And if somebody calls on your behalf and says, hey, he's a good guy, those people are blocked. They will not listen. Once you're on that list, you got to sue them to get off the list. But as one of my publicists used to say, there is no bad publicity. This is what this website said about you, and we got 100,000 hits on our website from that. And what they're going to find out is that you're not any of the things that they accused you of when they visit your site. So I'm like, I can live with that. So the only thing people remember is your name after bad publicity. In 6 weeks to a year, All they remember is your name. So bad publicity is free publicity.
And not everybody will like you, or it's the same for the work that I do. We're not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. I just think that's all right. Um, in your personal journey, did you have experiences with, I would say, either good or bad, beings, angelics, demons? Have you had experiences, like personal experiences with those things beyond what people bring to you?
Oh, I started when I was 2. My
Ah, that's
very first
interesting.
memory, I was in a crystal shop. It was actually called Crystal Voyage. It's out of business now, but it was in Tacoma, Washington. And I was looking at this picture of these multicolored lights in a tree, kind of like fairy lights. And it was nighttime in the picture. And I'm like, that's wrong. Those should all be golden lights. I'm thinking, well, how do I know that? And I get this memory of being very short. And I was in a room that had blue walls and really clean wood floors. There was a night light on, and there was this tall, thin window, like, with white trim, and it was open. And through the window, I could see this huge tree with a bunch of golden lights floating around it. And I remember climbing up on the windowsill, which was low. And somebody grabbed me and said, "Those are not for you to play with." So I called my older sister and I told her what I remember. And she says, "I'm surprised you remember that. You were only two years old when I pulled you off the windowsill."
Oh my goodness.
So from the age of 2, I've been able to see fairies. And, I used to watch Walt Disney, and, Tinkerbell would fly across the screen and do her little wandy thing. And I'm like, yeah, she's real. I know her. And, well, I thought everybody knew she was real, but they don't.
They don't. No, they don't.
I remember
And,
how excited I was when I found out that fairies were real. I was so happy. So happy.
well, I've started to see them many, many years ago, and I'm like, why am I seeing fairies? I mean, I'm a shaman. What do fairies have to do with anything with that? And they can be a force for good, mischief, and evil. The gray fairies you don't want to mess with, because they'll put you to sleep, put you in a coma, because you're bothering them. But the others are a lot different. And I've had to tell them, hey, do not sleep in my bed. They love doing that. I've had like 3 of them do that. Because I don't know you. And don't come in the bathroom with me. And definitely do not come in the shower with me. So, I set these boundaries and they just laugh. So I'm in Corona, California. I'm at a friend's house and I'm showering. And I see this kind of a white light. And I look down right here on my chest, just like Ultraman. There's this little dime-sized golden, well, not golden, but like a diamond, dime-sized diamond on my chest. And it's got this really bright white glow. I'm like, I told you not to get in the shower with me. Just go. Just go. Because, you're in the shower, you're not inviting
Exactly.
paranormal creatures in there. That's just icky.
I'm laughing because the same thing happened to me. I turned around and there was a fairy right there, and I'm like, no, I don't see you. I don't want to see you. Get out. And they're
I
very
don't
stubborn.
mind.
They're not quick to leave. They're hard to get to leave you alone if they got a message for somebody, was my experience, but it was funny.
Oh, absolutely. I got a message I didn't want. I was in the backyard at our house in Kent. And I see this fairy about 12 inches tall, She's dressed in white flowers, smaller flowers, bigger, bigger, bigger. So it looks kind of like a dress. And she's hopping in the air. So I start chasing her. And she jumps into one of these stone rings that we have in the yard and disappears. And the message was, because I called her the wedding dress fairy, the message was that I was chasing the wedding I wasn't going to get.
Was
And,
that true?
oh, it's absolutely true. Didn't get it. So I'd see it in the hallways of the house after that, just be kind of floating by. And then one morning I woke up and I had this big white goose down comforter, and you know how they have those big square patches. And she was laying diagonally in one of those big square fluffy patches. And I woke up and I saw her. She's like, just a few inches from my hand. And I said, "Excuse me, but you're taking liberties with my bed. I didn't invite you here. I don't know you. And you gave me bad news. Do you really think I want to see you anymore?" And she just winks out of sight, but she's still hanging around. I see her for another 2-3 weeks because, I don't know if she's checking on me or what, but fairies have messages. I got another message from the fairies. My editor, I had an editor because I used to write articles, and within either an hour to 12 hours, somebody, I'd send it to somebody and they'd be like, "Hey, we'd love to publish that." And that happened every month for a couple of years. And then I decided I'd stop writing. But I'm kind of upset, that my editor is, not going to be my editor anymore. And I'm typing to the apprentices, and I'm typing out an email, and I see this golden sparkle and a silver sparkle come phase through the wall of my bedroom. I'm like, well, you don't see that every day.
You
And
don't.
I felt them come over to my laptop, and my hands are over the laptop like this. And they start dancing or walking on my hands. And then they go through the window. So guess what the message was there?
Type more.
The message is the magic is in my hands, not somebody else's.
Oh, okay. That was a good message.
Well, they don't always carry bad news, but they're mischievous.
Yeah, they're stubborn. I've found them to be very stubborn. Same with that happened to you. I turned around, I found a fairy that was about a foot tall looking at me in the shower. And I'm like, no, no. So it's interesting that the one you saw was also about that tall because you think of them as smaller than that, but usually that's not always the case. They seem to be different sizes, I think.
I've seen
Very
them an inch
stubborn.
tall.
Yeah, they can be tiny or they can be real big. Yeah, they can be.
I was Disneyland because I love going to Disneyland. I had a year pass, and one of my apprentices was there, and a couple of my students. And the one apprentice is like, "Gosh, I want to see the fairies." We're standing in line at Tinkerbell's grotto because you could go see her if you want to. And I wanted to because I'm like that. I'm just crazy. My inner child is well nourished. So we're in line. We're under this tree, like 80 degrees, perfect weather. And, there's water sounds all around us. And there's these little tiny fairy houses. And this fairy comes up right here to my face. And my two students see it. And I'm looking at it. And it's got black hair and it's got little black leggings. But they might have been purple, real dark purple, going around her legs. And she's like, this big. And they're like, "Hey, you got to see this." And as soon as she turns around, it goes, and it's gone. And I think that's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. That's how they are, though. When I have to see them sometimes because people talk to them, so they come for messages for the person that we're dealing with, and sometimes I'm like, please send me anything but one of those. Send me an angel, send me anything, but not a fairy. Please don't send that. But you get what you get a lot of the times. It's kind of funny how that works. Yeah.
You asked me about evil, and
I
we didn't
did.
really answer your question. So let me answer your question. Evil exists. It's real. It has substance. It has will and intent, and it doesn't like you very much because it just doesn't. If you guys are familiar with the biblical angelic story, you know that a third of the angels in heaven rebelled because they didn't think that God should have humans as his favorites.
Yeah.
Humans have
That's right.
souls, but angels were created to serve God. That's it, period. Anything else other than that is because it's an order. And when you're talking about a demon, you're talking about a fallen angel.
That's right.
And there are good angels, there are neutral angels, and then there are demonic angels who don't like you. And, you know, they will do things to torment you. And a lot of my work is with people that are oppressed. Oppression is when a demonic or paranormal force is taking the joy out of your life, debilitating you, causing pain, so that you can't walk or that you can't do things that you normally could do because it's gone inside you and it's created this dis-ease. And the greatest trick that the evil one ever played was to make you feel and think that he doesn't exist,
I agree
but
with that.
but he actually does.
I agree with that.
And they will lie to you, they will hurt you, and they will kill you if they can. And they're not going to do it all at once. You might just hear this little voice in your head that says, don't put your seatbelt on. Let's go for a drive. Why don't you open the door and jump out of the car? We're moving at 60 miles an hour. Let's go. And if you can't resist that, you do something stupid. But because they've beaten you down, they've depressed you, they've hurt your body, they've made you feel hopeless, jumping out that car doesn't look so bad now.
They do that.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people who are in the military come because they're having that problem. And at least I'm thinking at least 3 of them didn't survive. They just didn't survive because they couldn't change where they were and how they think, and I find that very sad. But that's I've had a lot of people from the military come my way. Do you get people from the military who are suffering from PTSD, who are being tormented by whatever they did with their service, or those kinds of things? Because I get those people a lot.
Well, I get the broken people, but not very many of them are military.
Interesting. I don't know
Most of
why
them
I
are
get
nurses.
military people. It's very strange to me that I get them, but I do get them.
Well, you know, nurses deal with a lot of pain and suffering, and you know, they do all the dirty jobs.
Yes, they do.
And sometimes people don't treat them well. But they also see the paranormal parts of the hospital
They
because
do.
hospitals are haunted. And
Yes, they are.
a lot of people die there that are unwilling to accept that they're dead, or unwilling to pass on because they're afraid of what's going to happen. And so they linger. They're an earthbound spirit. Now, a demon is not going to want to tell you that you have dominion over a demon, that you have the divine spark of life given to you by our Creator. And because you have that divine spark of life, if you call on it with the divine spark of life within me, given to me by the Creator, I banish you from this place, never to return.
Yeah.
Now, we
And
talked
you-
about being confident. We talked about evil. So when you're dealing with evil, be confident that you have the divine spark of life. That means you were chosen out of millions of different little sperm cells. You were chosen. You won. You're a winner. You're alive. You have the divine spark of life within you that empowers you. A demon, an angel, do not have that divine spark, and that's what they're upset about.
Yes, they're jealous of it. The ones that have fallen, they're very jealous of human beings.
Now you can
But
command that spirit in the name of your deity, whichever deity it is. Because, I know people that worship the old gods, the Greek gods. I know people that are pagan. And what I tell them, as long as you believe in something,
that's
then you
it.
can call on that something because that empowers you. And I don't care what you believe in. If it's different than me, that's your business. Everybody can do the work I do as long as they believe in a higher power, whatever it is.
I love that. That's what I also tell people is that doesn't have power. You've got all the power because you're here and alive and breathing, and they don't. And that's one thing they don't like so much. But some people just cannot bring themselves to stand up to that for whatever reason. I have had experience with someone who is afraid of everything. He's terrified to try to do anything. And I said, you got to face this fear, or this is not going to go away for you. You have got to stand up to this thing. What would you tell that person? What would you tell him to have him realize that he has the power to stop, what's tormenting him?
I would first tell him that fear is just a feeling. You feel hot, you feel cold, you feel fear. Feel hot, take off your coat or your sweater. Feel cold, put on your coat or your sweater. You feel fear, experience it, look it in the eye and say, all right, I felt fear. I'm still here.
I have a question. What
Sure.
about people that are trauma bonded to these types of souls?
That's a good
Sometimes
question.
you have to use airplane wisdom. Put your own oxygen mask on first. There are people that are so broken that they will break you and you're trying to support them or fix them because that's not possible. That's not your job. It's their job to fix themselves. And I would tell that person, sometimes you have to choose you. And if that means that you're going to move, then you move. If you're in that relationship, you in that relationship. But you cannot be drawn back down to their downward spiral because it will suck you up and take you with them. Sometimes you got to choose you. And if that's what you're going through, maybe you should call me because I'm good at that.
Do you want to tell him a little bit about your story, Alina?
You mean the recent one?
Well, whatever you're comfortable telling him, I think you should maybe explain what you've been through recently.
Well, I have had quite a few relationships where I definitely know that there's something there that's not right. Actually, my last two, at one point I saw the same face on them, and it scared the crap out of me. And it wasn't really their face, it was a different face, but it was the same face that I witnessed at a certain moment in time with both of them. My current situation is the person that I'm with, we've been trying to help clear him for quite some time. And we maybe get temporary relief, but it kind of seems to creep back in. I hear whispering.
That's demonic.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of whispering right now. But yeah, we're kind of in a point where we know that there's something wrong, but he's having a hard time clearing himself for good.
A lot of people do not have the knowledge to clear themselves, which is why I wrote the article on spiritual housekeeping. I would refer you to go to my website, walkswiththunder.com, and read the article spiritual housekeeping. There's a lot of useful blogs on there on how to do things. Now, Angelica referred Sabrina to me because Sabrina was having a demonic problem. And I told her, you got three choices. You could be the victim, you can master it, or you can pay me $10,000. And what did you say, Miss Sabrina?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sabrina, what's the most interesting part about this for you so far working with him?
I think the most interesting part is that when you can clear yourself, it doesn't come back. That's the difference that I've had so far. And I've only been doing this for 2.5 months now. And but I've noticed that if you follow what he tells you to do exactly, and you're consistent, and I mean every single day, it doesn't come back.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, Sabrina had, an unusual problem in that she didn't just have one person after her. She had a group, a covenant. And what I told Sabrina was, I wouldn't worry about that. They're going to spend half a day in a ritual to get a chair to move a 1/4 inch. Why would you worry about that? Those people they're not very powerful. Whereas in a few weeks, maybe a year, you're going to become way more powerful than they are and will be unthinkable to attack you because your knowledge, your skill, your spiritual power will grow. And you need to keep doing these 5 exercises that I gave her in an email every day for 30 days, and you'll build spiritual power. Well, Sabrina's awesome. She knows how to follow
Isn't she?
instructions.
She's a good
She doesn't-
student. She listens.
And so she calls me up. She's like, I've been having these bad dreams. And I said, well, you can use your new spirit animal to protect you in your dreams. You've got 7 warrior thunder spirits that I gave you to protect you and guide you and help you with your homework. You can ask them. You got to learn how to order your spiritual team to protect you. So how you been sleeping after we did that, Sabrina?
Better, much better. It's more, I feel much more empowered in the dream now. And I'm to the point now where I can feel myself in the dream now. So I'm learning, I guess, lucid dreaming in order to take control. And every night is a little more real for me. And I know it's already real, but it's switching to I'm not going to be the victim anymore. So I can stop things now where before I couldn't. Now it's like, no. And at this point, I'm waking myself up. You and I have been working on getting to the point where, when things come after me and you said that it's my dream when I'm dreaming, it's not theirs.
Well, yeah, you own the dream. You created the dream. You are all powerful in the dream time.
Yeah. So once I can take a handle on that, then I can do with them what I wish. Push them out, just do what I can to stop
I
them.
suggested you punish them.
Yes. I was trying not to use that word. But yes, punish them. They've been punishing me forever, and I'm over it.
You got to remember that shaman are the spiritual counselors of the tribe. They're the justice system. They're the healer. And, if things are, the tribe's in trouble, we need food. They're the ones that, well, Buffalo is going to be over here in 3 days. Let's go there. And we are empowered to discipline, to punish. It's part of the job. So if somebody's coming after you, they're fair game. They have no idea that the spirits that surround you will protect you. The 7 warrior thunder spirits I gave you. But people come after me all the time, and somehow they just kind of disappear and are never heard from again.
Mhm.
And I don't have to do anything. The spirits that surround me are listening to what you said and what you do. And if you are doing something to me that you shouldn't be doing, they're going to do something to you, whether you like it or not. And there's nothing you can do about it except stop doing what you're doing. The chosen people are protected. The ones that have the pure knowledge are protected by spirit because it wants that pure knowledge out there to empower the people. And that's what I do. I have a pure connection to spirit. I don't have a teacher. Everything I get is pure from spirit, and that's the way I teach it. And that's why Sabrina's having great success, is because she's getting a pure teaching, not what I think, but what I was shown, what I just know from that past life as a medicine man, and what spirit just downloads into me. And on the one hand, it's comforting to find out that, yeah, I'm not crazy and there's something I can do about it. And on the other hand, you have to acknowledge that demons are real. And that's a scary thing.
Mhm.
But you got to just fight past your fear and do it anyway. Because they want your fear. So I give them anger. How dare you come into my house, you piece
I
of
do
crap?
that too. I do that too. That's
But
exactly
most
what
don't.
happens to me.
Most don't though, right? So most teachers out there are all love and light and send them love and send them this and send them that. And that's where, with you and Walks with Thunder, it's, stand up for yourself and fight for yourself. Like it's time to fight and I'm ready to fight. So I'm in the right place. I know that.
Do you want to tell them a little about your story? Because people who are watching don't know you like we do. So do you want to tell a little bit about your story that with the Walks with Thunder and the things you've experienced? And if you
Sure.
don't, that's okay. But if you, whatever you're comfortable with.
No, of course. Well, basically, I've dealt with demonic forces my entire life. I just didn't really know it because the humans that I've dealt with have all been, I don't want to say specifically possessed, but yeah, possessed. And it's been a fight for me my whole life. And specifically my mother. And after she passed away, it got worse. And I've had help with removing her from the situation. And I was curious as to why things were still happening. And which is when I found out that there was a coven of black magic witches that have been after me. And I would say probably for the last 9 years. And my intuition started happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what's happening. And little pieces of the puzzle kept coming to me. And I understood what was happening. And it gets to the point where you get terrified, you get drained, you're afraid, you feel defeated. And I think now that I have started the apprenticeship, I feel my life force coming back, and I'm more curious than I am afraid. And, I'm more empowered and I'm holding boundaries better than I ever have, in regular everyday life and in the spiritual. So, and I think in the spiritual, you need to hold your boundaries there first, because I think what I believe is everything seems to be happening there first, and then it comes here. Because I've seen so many people who weren't who they were, right? Just like, Alina said about seeing a face, the same face in different people. It's the same, with relationships and, in your family, or it's to me, it's the same demon that is nonstop after you. So I think with this being in this apprenticeship, it's different than others because the spiritual housekeeping, a lot of people call spiritual hygiene, but there's a difference with Walks with Thunder because there's a very specific formula, which I'm not going to divulge because it's part of the apprenticeship, that is the key to this, right? And he's very specific with each person, and it's customized to each person. And it's just really been, and I hate to use the word empowering again, but it's empowering. It is. It's very empowering. And I feel like I can live my life during the day without fear. And it's been helping tremendously. So thank you for that, because that is huge for me.
You're the one that took it and did something with it. I just showed you the way. You're the one that walked it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you've gotten so much more confident, and you look so much physically better, more rested, healthier. You're really doing well. I'm really proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
so
that.
welcome. You know, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
If somebody thinks they're being tormented, what should they look for if they're being harassed by evil, by demons, by other kind of earthbound things? What would you say to them? How would they know for sure that they're not having a mental health issue, that this is something that's actually happening? Can you define what it looks like when people are tormented by something like that?
It's hard to
There-
define that. I mean, are you asking me or Walks with Thunder?
I was asking him, but you both can answer.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
mind.
Go ahead, Sabrina. I want to hear it.
Oh, well, because I've been tormented my whole life, right? I think the first part is don't believe that you're crazy because somebody else is telling you that. If something's happening to you and it's not right, you have to believe yourself. You have to block everything out that everybody else tells you, and you have to believe yourself. And that is going to show you what is really happening in your life. If you block everybody else's,
Chatter.
chatter. Yeah. And I think to me, that's what it is. You're not crazy. And if people think you are, they're afraid or they're the problem. So that's what I got.
Well, you got to remember that everybody has a different deity.
Mm.
Like my neighbor, the good hero fireman, he's a good Christian. And he'll tell you up front, I'm a good Christian. Red flag number one. As soon as somebody tells you they're a good Christian, they're not. They're evil.
Yep.
Evil walks around in front of us and it parades as vision, people of authority. I think there was a judge in Arizona that just got picked up who had 80 pounds of fentanyl and was sex trafficking women. And I'm like, that's a judge. And she had weaponized the police force. There were police, high-ranking police people that were, pulling people over, and then those people would disappear. But evil's out there. What I would tell people is that if your health is in danger and you've got a pain, there's a simple test. I'll tell you how to heal yourself. And if the pain moves, then that's an entity, a demonic force, because pain should not move. If you have a broken arm, then the pain should be right there where the break is. But if the pain moves, that's paranormal. And it's easy to get those things out. Really simple. Because we have a pure teaching. So we're not dressing it up with smoke and feathers and leather and music or dances. We're just doing the work. We don't do the show. And there's a lot of people that hate it when I say that because they love their ceremony. And what I tell people is, do it the way I taught you. And you can complicate the hell out of it after you know how it works. And then if it stops working, go back to the original teaching because we know that works. Evil gives you a feeling that you're sick or that your back hurts or that, you're just grumpy all the time. So people aren't happy with you. So you isolate yourself. When you isolate yourself, you're more susceptible to negative words. Like Alina was saying that she was hearing whispering. Well, once that whispering becomes clear, it's like, you don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve a good relationship. And you're not going to have one. You'll see to it. And then you have a fight with your partner because you're agitated. And they've gathered enough negative energy to take control of you for a few minutes so that you have this big blow up. And you're on a cycle of violence or negative encounters with each other. It might be a week, might be a couple of weeks, might be a month, but there's a cycle. And if you were to write down on the calendar every time you have a fight with your significant other, then a cycle of violence will appear. And then you'll know, is it just a couple days? Is it a couple hours? What is the interval? And that tells you how strong the entity is that's within you or that has targeted you. So then, you're feeling bad. You're on a cycle. Pain moves. And you have negative thoughts that you normally wouldn't have. And those are all clear signs of oppression. Oppression means that you're being pushed down by this negative spirit. You've lost hope. You're in despair. You're crying. You're emotional. You're, having these dramatic breakdowns. You should be calling me right away because we can make that stop. I can empower you so that you can stand up to a demon, kick its ass, and then laugh in its face and say, I got you, bitch.
It is
So-
nice.
And Sabrina's done that. She did that only after 6 weeks?
Hmm.
I've had other apprentices that take years to do that. One of my apprentices was oppressed since she was 11. And, she's a highly intelligent person. She's a nurse practitioner. She's got a bunch of letters after her name. She does psychiatric work. She's just incredible, very intelligent. But it took her 2.5 years to face her demon and kick it out, and it hasn't returned. So I'm very proud of the work that I do that empowers people to stand up to their demons and say, you know what? I don't need you. I'm going to kick your butt. And every time you come back here, I'm going to make it worse for you.
Have you
And they
had
don't
the,
come back. They just
Go
don't come back.
have
Go
you
ahead.
had the experience of, I would call it phenomenal activities that happen when a person is being oppressed like this? Like, I've known people that the clock flew from one wall to the other wall, or the books flew off the shelves, or the furniture turned over. Do you have people that have had those kind of, I would say,
Absolutely.
not unexplained phenomenon, but phenomenon in general?
Absolutely. And spiritual housekeeping will make that stop. So the
That's a
first
really
thing you
good
do is
thing.
you've got to secure your home. And spiritual housekeeping tells you how to do that. And then you've got to know that you're empowered, that you have dominion over these spirits. Any spirit, even the demonic ones, you have dominion. And then you have to stand in your authority. In the advanced class, I teach something called the voice of command, where I can tell somebody to do something and they'll do it because it's a command. I used it at the casino when this gal was trying to steal $800 from my mother-in-law. And I said, stand still, turn around, put your hands at your side. Why are you stealing from this lady? Well, I wasn't stealing. I put money in. I took money out. You put $5 in. Now you have an $805 ticket. Security, stay where you are. And they do. Security comes over, cashes it out, gives her $5, gives $800 back to my mother-in-law. The voice
If
of command.
if people want to contact you, can we put your information up, Alina? Can we do that? There it is.
Oh, she's quick. Oh,
walkswiththunder.com.
that was in
Oh,
there like a
she's good.
second.
She was ready for that one. That's a great one. So you can find him at walkswiththunder.com. Is there any other way? Do you have an email address or?
Walks with Thunder at msn.com, microsoftnetwork.com. You could look me up on Facebook. I'm on lots of things, but I don't pay attention to the other things. I'm even on YouTube, but I hardly ever do anything on YouTube.
Well, maybe you should.
Well, there's so many different ways. I'm learning how to do AI, and I've been making this little, 6 to 15-second movies, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. And
We've been using those. You've made us quite a few of them, and we've been using them in our advertising and on our shorts. We've had a good response from your AI that you created. It's worked well.
well, AI is very specific. Sometimes it puts on like 50 pounds on me, and I got like 3 chins. know, So I've learned to put in a statement that says I'm 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, and then it doesn't make me look fat. And then I'll say, and I have short hair, no bald spots. So
How funny.
you gotta tell AI a little more information, otherwise it's going to take liberties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alina, do you want to ask him any more questions? And we can open this up to the people that are watching. If you want to put a question in the chat, Alina will read it for you.
Yeah,
so
there
that,
there is a comment from Brandy.
Hi, Brandy. She's one of my students.
So Brandy said, "Here comes the controversial question. Do you think part of that has something to do with the concoctions that are injected into our bodies? Does that give the ability to latch on easier?" And it was when you were talking about spirits entering into the body.
Negative energy will take any entrance into your body. It may be in the worm that you drink in your liquor. It may be in hanging out with the wrong people, because people that are cursed carry negative entities with them, and they jump off them like fleas wherever they go. So if you know somebody's cursed and they're not doing anything about it, stay away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, you could definitely get something negative from an injection because it's pushed into your body. And what's in that injection? Is there mercury in it? Is there formaldehyde? All those things can combine to make you sick, to have you have a sense of dis-ease, and it lowers your resistance to negative entities and energies.
Are
So
there other questions in our chat?
Not yet.
so you should go
Nice.
off and read my blog on spiritual housekeeping, walkswiththunder.com.
I think she's gonna look you up. She's interested.
Can I
Well,
mention something?
Sure.
Sure.
With the spiritual housekeeping, what I've noticed is when I have a space of my own, I can clear it, keep it clean, exactly how I want it. But when I'm in a situation where there's others in the home who aren't very spiritually clean, let's say, I've noticed that I'm able to at least use the spiritual cleansing on my part of like my bedroom, or, so I have like a safe place to go. So I know a lot of people aren't able to get out of their situations. But if you can kind of like create your own little nook in the house, it helps a lot.
I walk around the house with headphones on.
Yeah. So you don't hear it. Yeah.
So I don't hear the news. I don't hear what they're arguing about.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps. And then you have your own little space.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to the end of our time here, and I'm going to have to go. But I really enjoyed being here with you guys. I had so much fun.
Oh,
And
that's so
just
nice.
remember that in the dark or in the daylight, you are the most powerful thing anywhere. Don't let anybody tell you different. You shouldn't have to suffer on your path. You shouldn't have to be humiliated. It should be free and easy. Just walk in the path. And remember that spirit most likely, most often demands an energy exchange of some kind. Be ready for that.
Mhm.
So let me ask you two more things. So if somebody wants to have a session with you, they can contact you because you also do readings and things like that, correct?
I do. You can get me at
Okay.
walkswiththunder at msn.com. Send
And
me an email.
a little bird told us that you're really good with relationship things in your sessions.
I
A little
specialize
bird
in
told
love and
us.
relationships. Is he cheating on you? Yes, I know. Sometimes I can even describe them to you. I had a lady call me up one day and she goes, I'm having difficulty with relationships. Let me make sure I'm talking to the right lady. You're about 110 pounds. You've got an athletic build. You've got lifted blonde hair. You've got blue eyes. And you're between 38 and 42. And she goes, can you see me? I said, well, I see you in my mind's eye. Yeah, I see you. She goes, does your wife know you can do this? I said, yeah, she's aware.
That's funny.
That's very funny. So it's been lovely having you today. And
Thank
if you
you.
really have to go, we'll let you go. If you want to stay
Maybe we can
longer,
do it
we'll
again.
keep you.
Yes.
We can do that. But
Yes.
on Sundays, you always give a blessing in your posts. Would you give us a blessing today for people who are just hanging out watching,
Oh,
and
sure.
for us? I'd love that.
I call the grandfather and grandmother spirits from all the nations and spirits that love us. I ask that right now in this moment that we are forgiven for our sins, known and unknown. I ask that it is known that we're grateful for the blessings that will come before and those that are yet to come. I ask that we are blessed with harmony in our lives. I ask that negative energy in all its forms be repelled from us because we're just too darn nice. I ask that in a great and powerful way that prosperity and good health pursue us, catch us, and stay with us for as long as possible. And so it is.
Thank
We thank
you.
you so much. That was so sweet. And we like you very much. We'd love to have you back, right? Raise your hand if you want to
Yes,
have him back.
please.
Anytime, anytime.
Thank you.
and
Thanks for having me
our
today.
Bye.
and our best to your Miss Bunny. We like her very much.
Oh, I love the bunny.
We love the bunny too. She's so cute.
Oh, he left.
Yeah, he did.
That was quick.
So I we really could talk longer, I suppose, but anything the two of you would like to say about this experience with him or any experience with anyone, it's perfectly fine to do that if you want to.
No, I
Well,
thought he was amazing. I'm sorry.
no, go.
I thought he was amazing, and I think it would be worth having a chat with him.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I agree.
He is. He's definitely worth it. So the classes are amazing. They're clear, they're concise, they're easy. Like he likes to say he uses the easy button, right, for shamanism, and he does. It's not a big to do, and it helps. It is. I can't even tell you how much he's helped me in the last few months. It's been incredible. So
Yay.
yeah. Yeah, he's definitely worth it. I would highly recommend him.
Alina, I had thought that this would be a good person for your partner to have a conversation with. So
I said that.
I don't know if that's possible under the circumstances, but it might be worth a try. Maybe he could watch this. I don't know.
I agree. We'll see.
Okay, girls. Anything else? Are we good?
No. When's our next podcast?
Let's see. Today's the 16th. The first Friday in February. We will. I plan on taking a little time off, but we will do our 2 podcasts. I'm going to try to round up my friend Tony in Africa so
Oh,
he
yay.
can talk about something, and probably about the year of the horse. We're in the Chinese year of the horse, so he knows quite a lot about that. So it might be interesting to talk to him about that and the minerals in Namibia. And then my young friend Grinstead, I am planning on him. He's going to go to the Tucson Gym Show, the big gym show that they have every year. He'll be out there for a few weeks.
Nice.
I'm hoping he will go there and film for us and have show us what's going on there, because it's right around my birthday time, and I always think, oh, I just love to go there, for my birthday, just to hang out with people and rocks. That would be fun.
Love it.
So I don't know what I would do with His Majesty the King, who needs undying attention. That's my cat Leo, in case you're wondering. We won't leave him for long. He gets very upset. He's very demanding for cat.
We love him.
People who are dog owners, having a cat is a whole different thing. Just totally not the same. Not the same.
They rule
All
the
right, cat and dog lovers and metaphysical people everywhere, and those of you who have been brave enough to join us today with Walks with Thunder, we thank you so much. And drop us a note on Facebook. You'll find Angelica Black Moon there. You'll find all of us there. If you'd like to pop in for a chat or keep up with what's going on, we have events and things. And Alina, if you can drop our Astara stuff in the chat so that people can find us if they want an appointment or something, that would be great.
Yes.
We do have 3 other podcasts that have been recorded prior to this one, and you might like to go hear Michael Langevin or hear Linnea Starr or hear Laura Starr. They're all really good interviews, even if I'm saying that myself. So there we go. I
Yes,
can
they
toot
are.
my own horn on occasion, just a little bit. That was a big toot, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, definitely. You're allowed.
Okay, thank you very much. I usually don't do that, but I'll do it right now. All right, girls. Take care.
Mwah. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
all of our folks.
Thank you.
Thank
Till the next
you.
time.